It's cloudy out and more gray than blue, but at least it's not raining right now. Still, I don't want to waste any time.
Is anywhere in the river okay?
The elemental bobs up and down.
I know just the place then.
Is it gonna be the... Oh? The muddy path slows down the wagon a bit, but it isn't too bad. When we go downhill, I have to be careful not to let it go. Not let it get out of control, but other than that, it's pretty easy. From the bottom of the hill, it's not too far to the spot I had in mind. I noticed a small abandoned ramp into the river way back when I was still living in the woods, but it wasn't useful to me then.
Don't know why anyone built this place, but it sure worked out for me.
Kneeling near the bottom of the ramp, I wrapped the wagon's rope around my wrists to keep it from rolling away, then undo the straps on the tank. With both hands, I gently tilt the tank onto its side. The water and elementals spill out, flowing down the dirty concrete and into the river. The water begins to churn immediately, bubbling as if something huge is coming to the surface. A rushing sound echoes about the empty area before a torrent of water suddenly shoots upwards like a fountain, arcing clear over me. As I look up, I see the elemental shimmering with the water, catching the light from the sun. For one brief moment, the most beautiful, vivid rainbow I've ever seen hovers before me, so close that I could touch it. Then the water and the elemental crash back into the river, and everything else goes still. I smile, certain that I understand.
You're welcome.
Cute. Oh, God. Okay, let's go back to the kid. I'm lazing around at the library, relaxing in one of the comfy chairs near the shelves when the door opens. Two humans that I recognize walk in, Gwen leading Tommy by the hand. Of course, Scooby is floating above them. The three of them go right past me, and Gwen takes a seat at an empty table close by.
I'm gonna be right here. Remember not to go too far away, okay?
I know.
Smiling, Gwen kisses Tommy on the forehead, and he makes a grossed out face. Then she pulls out a pen and some papers, and spreads them out on the desk, sighing as she starts to look over them. I watch as Tommy, accompanied by Gerby, looks around the kids section for a bit. He pulls a couple of books off the shelves, but puts them back without opening them. Finally, he wanders over to the edge of the library and gets down on his hands and knees, crawling along the floor. I don't have anything better to do right now, so I go over to where he is as well. I nod at Gerby as I do.
What you doing?
What you doing? Tommy startles at the sound of my voice, but then holds up one finger to shush me.
You're not supposed to talk so loud. We're in a library.
Great, even kids are telling me off now.
I'm looking for spiders, though.
Oh God.
Spiders, huh?
Not the buggies.
Why? 'Cause they're cool?
Now that I think about it, he was trying to find bugs one of the first times I met him. I wonder if the one that I caught for him is doing okay. Probably not, if I'm being honest.
Are you collecting them? Yeah! Do you like bugs too? Not really. They're okay though.
I've eaten a few when I had no other options, but I don't think he wants to hear about that.
Nobody does, except me. Everyone thinks they're gross and creepy. But you don't. That's why I like them. Wanna help me look?
I'm not very interested in catching spiders, but Juliet might count it as helping to clean up a bit.
Sure, why not? I think I know where some are. Whoa, really? Yeah! There's this one corner that's really dusty.
Gerby follows us as I take Tommy to the corner in question. Although Juliet keeps the library pretty clean, there are some spiderwebs and dirt between one of the shelves and the wall.
Wow, you were right! Gerby, come help me look!
Gerby floats down to Tommy's eye level.
Gerby's my friend. You can't see him, but he's here with us. Cool!
I don't feel like explaining that I can in fact see him right now. Tommy closes one eye and peeks into the crevice looking for bugs.
Actually, Gerby's my only friend. I met him when I was looking for a beetle. He looks like a flower, but he's not. If I do find any spiders, I have to get two so they're not alone. Especially if they're married. If they have any kids, then that would make their kids be really sad too.
I have to think that being taken away to be part of a collection would make them sad, but I keep that to myself. I crouch down to help Tommy look. There are some scraps of paper and a dusty pen on the ground, and plenty of spider webs above them. No spider in them from what I can tell, though.
Do you know where else they are?
I don't want to take him too far away. Best to stay in the main part of the library.
Maybe up front?
If any come in through the door, they might have set up close by. We go over there and start looking, with Tommy inspecting the floor, and behind the furniture I poke around as well, checking some of the corners. As I watch him crawl around, it's hard to imagine him getting into fights like I overheard his parents talking about. He seems like a nice enough kid.
Oh, found one!
Tommy's kneeling down on the ground, pointing under a bookshelf. Both Gerby and I go over to see.
Look, see it?
Sure enough, I can see some kind of spider hiding in the back.
I see it. Are you gonna catch it? Looks sorta scary. It could still be nice, but I don't know how to reach it. Maybe if we come back later, it'll be easier to get.
Tommy spends a while hunting the rest of the library for more bugs, and I follow behind him for some of it. Eventually, Gwen straightens out all her papers over at her table, and then comes to collect Tommy.
Tommy, what are you doing down there? You're gonna get all dirty.
Looking for spiders. This lady was helping me.
Gwen notices me and I wave.
I'm sorry. I hope you weren't too distracted.
Nah, don't worry, I live here.
Oh, that's convenient.
The two of us watch Tommy for a second, who still hasn't given up on the spider by the door. Gwen sighs.
Thanks for keeping him company. He doesn't have a whole lot of friends his age to play with. Meanwhile, I'm trying to study for grad school and raise a kid and work a job and get a divorce all at once.
Oh my god.
Well, not that any of that's your problem.
Yeah, thanks for trauma dumping, Gwen. Gwen tries to rub her eyes and ends up almost dropping the papers she's carrying. She kind of reminds me of Aspen, the way she seems like she's holding in a lot more than she's letting out.
That's okay. I don't mind.
By tomorrow, she won't remember telling me any of this stuff, so if saying it helps her to feel better, then it doesn't really bother me one way or another. With a tired smile, Gwen rearranges the things she's holding so that she has a free hand.
Come on, Tommy. We need to get going.
Fine.
Tommy looks under one last bookshelf and then finally stands up. Gwen leans down to dust off Tommy's knees and pants before taking his hand.
Thanks again. If you live here, I guess we'll probably see you around. I've got a lot of studying I need to do, so I'm sure we'll be back. Say bye, Tommy.
Bye! If you see any cool bugs, save them for me! Will do. Bye!
Gerby waves goodbye to me as he floats out the door with the humans. Gerby. I can't help but feel a little bit bad for Tommy and Gwen, and for Tommy's dad as well. It seems like both parents are doing their best, but Tommy has his own problems too. And without even trying, I know more about all of them than they're aware of. I have a feeling that won't change, especially if they're going to be back frequently like Gwen said. Now that I'm on my own again, I return to the chair I was occupying before and settle down for a proper nap. All day it's been showering on and off, raindrops still pattering on the roof even now. At least the frogs outside are comfortable, happily croaking away in the dark night. To stave off the cold, I keep a warm blanket wrapped around me while sitting up and watching TV. I don't really understand all the complicated things the presenters are talking about, but it's interesting to see their reports from all around the world. My ears prick up as I hear someone walking up to the door, a series of 3 knocks gently ringing out against it. Always 3, from Juliet.
Yeah?
Oh, a different outfit. Cute. Oh.
I'm making some tea. Would you care to join me? I can make some hot chocolate as well.
Sure. Be right down.
A warm drink sounds nice right now. Not wanting to leave my cozy blanket, I decide to hold it tightly around myself and waddle down to the kitchen with it. The stairs prove a little difficult, but I manage. There are already 2 mugs sitting on the table when I arrive, and the kettle is already steaming. As I take my seat, Juliet pours but boiling water into each cup.
You knew what I was gonna say before you even asked me, huh?
I had a feeling, yes.
She pushes my mug across the table and my hands peek out from my blanket to cradle it. Happy for the warmth, I hold the mug for a while before tasting the steaming hot chocolate inside. Aww.
I like the hot chocolate you make even better than the stuff at the Bell House.
Why, thank you. I'm happy to hear that. Although I imagine Aspen wouldn't be.
Do you ever go there? Now that I think about it, I'm surprised we've never gone together.
We haven't. Well, why don't we change that sometime then? Perhaps we can meet Aspen for breakfast there instead. It has been a while since I've stopped by.
Sure! I've never gotten any food from there. Only drinks.
You're in for a treat then. They serve delicious pastries and sandwiches. There's a particular one that I know Aspen enjoys. Although, I can't remember what it was.
That's okay. I'm sure I'll be fine with anything they have. I can't remember the last time I tried something that I didn't like.
What a mood.
That must come in handy when traveling the world so much, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. Can't afford to be picky when you don't know the next time you'll even have options.
Have you found a favorite food? Or type of cuisine that you most enjoy?
Not really. Most of the time I just eat junk food or leftovers. Not really anything fancy.
Understandable. If there's ever a certain dish or meal that you'd like to try, it would be my pleasure to help make that happen. Perhaps we could even learn to cook it here at home, so you could have it any time.
Sure!
I toss that onto the mental pile of if there's ever anything that Juliet's offered me. I know she means well, but at this point, I can't remember everything she said that about. The two of us continue to chat for a while, and I recount the full day's events with the elemental to Juliet, wrapping up my story at the point where I came home from the river.
Oops! That reminds me. I never put away the wagon. Let me know where it goes, and I can take it upstairs when I go back to my room.
Wagon? Oh, yes. Yes, of course.
Juliet quietly looks away, taking a sponge and busying herself cleaning some loose sugar off the counter, but it's obvious that something's off. I'm not sure what to do. It's so rare that Juliet's the one who seems uncomfortable. In fact, this is the only time I can think of. Other than when I first met her, of course, when I sort of tried to steal that painting.
By the way, who does all that stuff belong to? The wagon and the toys, that is. Were they part of the library children's section before or something?
No, they were personal possessions, not part of the library.
Oh, like from when you were a kid? I'm surprised you managed to keep them for that long then.
No, not my childhood.
Oh, Juliet.
Huh?
The sponge stops moving, Juliet's shoulders slumping as she gives up trying to work. I feel a little bad for making her act so oddly.
If you don't want to talk about it, that's totally fine. Sorry. I didn't know it was sensitive. I'm really, really sorry.
Oh, mijo, it's not your fault.
It's fine. You couldn't have known. Besides, perhaps it's only right that you know.
Know what?
She turns back towards me, taking a breath before she continues. Her eyes don't look at me, though. They're looking past me.
Do you remember when, several weeks ago, I told you that I met someone who changed my life? Someone who made me want to be a better person?
Yeah.
Well, her name, my daughter's name, is Cosette.
You have a daughter?
Yes, and she's been the biggest blessing in my many, many years of life. Although she's not of my own flesh and blood, she was my child. I found her on my doorstep one morning, tucked into a basket with a blanket and scarf around her. It was cold that morning, so very cold. When I opened my door and saw the silent bundle there, I feared that she was dead. But she was not. She was so very alive, and despite the cold, so very, very warm. She was barely a year old, if that. Yet she didn't cry. She could have been there all night for all I knew, but she never uttered a sound. I brought her inside, of course, just so she wouldn't freeze. Beyond that, I was panicked and confused. I'd never wanted a human child. I didn't even know how to raise one. To this day, I don't know why whoever abandoned her chose my doorstep to leave her on. Of all places. But how wonderfully, impossibly lucky I was. Because she didn't cry, I thought she might be mute. But that wasn't the case. She had a great deal to say. And as she got older, she would talk and talk. Every word was like music, a melody to my ears only. I felt so fortunate, and so unprepared. I suddenly had the life and well-being of another in my own hands. Her future, her everything.
And what happened?
It was a responsibility I had never asked for, and likely would have never asked for if my life hadn't changed that day. She grew and grew, from a curious baby to precocious child, then to a confident young lady, and finally to a lovely woman. I couldn't have been more proud as a mother. Every graduation, every breakup, every smile and tear changed my life. As my daughter, of course it would be true to say that I raised her, but it was mutual. She also made me into the person I am today.
Once Juliet finished speaking, I let out a breath I don't remember holding, just as when she had first started speaking. Her gaze is still fixed on the empty wall, somewhere above my head. Just like when Aspen gets sucked into one of her books, I can tell that Juliet's mind is somewhere else entirely.
The moment that I resolved to raise her, I made a promise to myself and to her. A promise that I would do all in my power to make the world Cosette lived in, grew up in, a better one that I had experienced. That I would show her how to find the beauty and the joy in all things dark and terrible. In a sense, I ceased to exist as a single person. My life was no longer my own. It was tied, forever and always, to another.
So, all those toys and things.
Yes, the treasures and mementos of another life. Of happy days filled with laughter, of scraped knees and tummy aches, of heartbreak and homecomings. I keep them there as not simply a reminder, but a tribute to those times.
Wow. I would have never guessed any of that. I never knew you were a mom.
Her gaze returns to me, to the world that we're in now. She gives a little smile, but it looks fragile.
Well, I suppose it's not something I speak of very often.
Does she live here in Wellington? Could I meet her?
Juliet regards me with a strange look, similar to earlier with the elemental. It's not that she looks angry, but like she's thinking about something very hard. I stare back, not sure of what else to do or what I might have said wrong. Like always, her expression soon softens.
She is in Wellington, yes. A bit of a walk, but not too far. You can go in the morning if you'd like. It's been a little while since I have.
Cosette is... It's probably a gravestone that Juliet's talking about. Like what's it called, a cemetery?
Sure, fine by me. I guess it is getting kind of late for a visit, huh?
It is indeed. Speaking of which, I actually have some business I must tend to myself. Will you be alright on your own, Miho?
Oh, yeah, of course. Don't worry about me.
Have a good night then. See you in the morning.
See you. I'll be ready to go first thing.
As Juliet leaves, I watch her go. It might just be me, but it seemed like she left in a hurry after saying that. Maybe she and Cosette had an argument about something, or maybe she just didn't want me to meet the other people in her life. I'm probably just imagining it. The way she talks about Cosette is so different to the way I've heard Juliet talk about anything or anyone else. I can tell she cares a lot about her. Hopefully it'll make more sense tomorrow after I get to meet her. When I finally decide to head up to my room, I take the wagon back first, as promised. I have to pick it up and carry it to get it up the stairs, but fortunately it's not that heavy, even with my blanket bunched up inside. Once I get to the second floor, I put it down and drag it the rest of the way to the storage room. After pushing the wagon into its empty spot, I take a proper look around now that I know what this room actually contains. More than just toys, I also spot racks of clothes and stacks of books and all kinds of other belongings. The whole room is pretty packed. Slowly making my way back to the door, I carefully maneuver between a rocking horse and a dollhouse, taking care not to step on anything or knock it over. Taking one last peek around before I head to my own room, I get the feeling that there's nothing missing from Cosette's childhood in here. I can't say for sure, but it certainly seems like Juliet hasn't let anything go. Oh. The morning air is fresh and crisp, the plants around us looking healthier for the drink last night. A handful of small puddles here and there are all that remains of yesterday's rain, likely to be completely dried up in a few hours. As I stand up by the front door of the library, Juliet walks up beside me and unfolds her parasol, bringing it over her head.
Shall we depart? It's about a 30-minute walk from here, so perhaps we'll take a ride back once we're done.
Yep. Will you be okay in the sun with that?
Yes. It's still early enough that I don't need to worry too much.
Lead on then.
Stepping out into the brilliant morning, I stretch and roll my shoulders. It's a nice day, not too cold and not too hot. As always, Juliet's steps are measured, and even as she walks, her parasol bobs with each step, making it look like she's wearing a big hat from this angle. I smile to myself at the image as I skip along beside her. Even with protection from the sun, it's rare to see Juliet out in the daytime.
So, I was wondering something. If your daughter lives so close, then why doesn't she come to visit more often? I've been here for a couple months now.
Although she clearly heard me, Juliet doesn't answer. Maybe it's too personal a question, because things are tense between them. I've never seen Juliet not answer one of my questions before, so I don't push it. Juliet remains quiet as we keep walking. This isn't unusual for her, but I still feel a little awkward.
Sorry if I shouldn't have asked that.
No, it's all right. You'll see when we get there, though.
Okay.
It's a cemetery. We head in a direction that I haven't explored before. We're in the same area as the gardens, but not quite the same spot. A massive green hill watches over us from one side, while trees blanket the other. After crossing a small bridge that runs over the highway, we reach another beautiful area. The concrete path we walk along is lined with bushes and flowers and the occasional decorative lamps. There are a few houses peeking through the trees, which ring the area, but most of the field is still covered in nature.
Whoa. Are we getting close?
Yes, we're very nearly there. This is Bolton Street Park.
She's pretty lucky to live in a place like this, huh?
Oh, mijo.
Even as a child, Cosette had an affinity for the woods and trees.
I get that. I'll bet she would love to be able to turn into a bat or a fox.
I'm taken off guard by Juliet letting out a great laugh. I don't think I've ever seen her like this. A little giggle, or barely, a chuckle from time to time. Sure, but never anything so relaxed and sincere. A grin spreads on my face just from watching her.
Yes, I think you're right about that.
There are only a handful of houses around the park, so I wonder which one is Cosette's. Time and time again, we walk on past the turns which lead to any of them. Just as I start to wonder where it is we're going, Juliet slowly comes to a stop. The main path forks into two here. The one to our left, a well-trodden dirt path. There's a sign, but I can't quite read the writing yet.
Everything okay? We're not lost, are we?
Heavens, no.
A number of tall trees shade the path that we're on, giving enough protection for Juliet to slide her parasol shut. She takes a deep, silent breath and smiles and gestures down the offshoot before us.
It's right this way. Just a little further.
Nodding, I follow again as she leads us onwards. Right away, I notice that something is a little bit off. Juliet's steps are slower and a bit more uneven, like she doesn't want to get to wherever we're going. After a few minutes of walking in silence, she takes one last turn off from the path we were on, leading me up a small hill dotted with trees. Once we reach the crest, Juliet comes to a stop. Still confused, I step up beside her.
Here we are.
Huh? I don't see... Oh.
In the shade of one of the trees is a gray stone monument. Its edges are rough and worn from time, but it's spotlessly clean. There are others like it nearby, practically identical. Words are carved into the stone, too small for me to read easily. I've never visited before, but I realize what this place is. I silently mouth the letters of the word at the top, even though I'm pretty sure I know what it's going to say. There's a C, then an O, then an S. Cosette's grave is preserved perfectly. I'm sure Juliet wouldn't stand for anything else.
I'm... sorry. I didn't...
It's okay, Miho. I'm aware you didn't know. But... I wanted you to.
He turns back to the grave, gently running a hand over the curved stone.
My beautiful, precious daughter passed away years ago. Almost 2 decades by now. She lived a long, full life and spent her final moments with those she loved. The last words she told me, the last words she ever said to me.
Juliet's shoulders shake without a sound as I stand there helplessly. She shudders as she takes a deep breath.
Were that she couldn't have been happier.
What was she like?
She was so many things that it's almost impossible to answer. I think you would have liked her. I'm sure she would have loved you. She was adventurous and free, sometimes stubborn to a fault. Once her heart was set on something, there was no stopping her. Everything she did vividly, to the fullest. Even if the very laws of existence told her something was impossible, she would try anyway. She was endlessly kind, with compassion for every living thing, from the smallest insect to the largest, most ferocious beast. She saw the value in all of them.
She gives a small smile as she looks at me. Even as tears well in her eyes, I gulp to try and force down my own emotions.
You should have seen her as a child.
Oh.
She would talk your ear off. Both of them, if you'd let her. There wasn't a single person near us who didn't know who she was. So open and free was she. That warmth and care. It was the core of her life. If she saw someone in need, she would rush to their aid. It just naturally came to her. If you or I see someone hurting, we may choose to help. For Cosette, it wasn't a choice. It was simply who she was. To know her was to adore her. Every day that went by, I was more and more proud of her. Those virtues never faded a bit. Even on her last day, she was worried for me more than anything. I promised her that I would...
Juliet sobs, dragging her hand across her face. All I can do is watch my own emotions, a storm that tosses me in all different directions. The pain in Juliet's shaky voice is enough to make my own breath tremble. But beyond that, there's something else, something eating at me that I didn't want to acknowledge. Oh, Julia turns back towards the grave, taking a couple steps closer. Unfurling her parasol, she holds it over her shoulder like a shield, guarding herself against the sunlight, also able to stand a little straighter.
I promised her that I would live as she did, to honor her memory with kindness and with virtue and with compassion and patience for all. That I would ensure her legacy lived on in the many lives she had touched. It was only in the days that followed her passing, as I wandered lost and alone, that I truly began to understand how much she had saved my own life. The gift she gave me was something I'd never had before. Purpose. How very silly and irrelevant things such as wealth and prestige began to seem after that. Those were fleeting concepts, born as some misplaced need or desire. There was something that could be much greater. Something well beyond money and power. Love. As a word, it's difficult to understand. To hear the poets speak of it, there's nothing mightier and nothing softer. Love was either everything or it was nothing. It always seemed so trite, so mature, an attempt to create meaning where there is none. And yet, I've found that the poets were right. They were so right. You and I, Miho, to be able to live on, unaffected by time's curse, must surely seem a blessing to some, but that time is meaningless without something to fill it. To those of us who walk alongside Father Time, rather than fleeing him, it's awfully lonely.
Oh.
When I first became a vampire, I told myself that I had no more need for humans, that I was beyond them. Now, I realize I was afraid. There's a simple contentment and joy that can only be found in experience and age, I've learnt. Wisdom does not exclude humans, but to look on as once vibrant hair fades to grey, and as once strong hands soften their grips, as once treasured memories become distant, there is pain. To watch someone you love grow up is beautiful. To watch them grow old is to suffer. Cosette lived into her 80s. A good, long life for a human. Even as her flesh started to fail her, her mind never did. She was sharp as a sword and quick as a fox. For a human, there is no kinder, gentler end than that of old age. And every day, I'm thankful that Cosette was one of those lucky ones. To slip away peacefully and painlessly. As I held that soft, shaky hand for the last time, I wished desperately that I could trade places with her. I would have done anything to give her just one more day, but there was nothing to be done. Cosette passed on with no regrets, and a smile on her face. She lived as full a life as any human could live. And when she was gone, I was still there. My flesh not a day older than when I met her. It was then that I realized what a cruel gift immortality could be. What a slow, repetitive torture if I chose to let it. So for the sake of Cosette's memory, and of the promise I made, I swore that I would continue to live as I had not lived before. For virtue, for friendship, for others, for tomorrow. To die is human. To live is a privilege.
With absolute clarity, the storm inside me calms as I pass through its eye. There is a sense of finality in Juliet's words, which leaves them ringing in my ears as I stumble backwards without thinking about it. To die is human. All humans. Cosette. Someday Aspen. But also, even mine. My person. Understanding hits me like an arrow to the heart, and I barely notice the look of surprise on Juliet's face as I transform, turning tail and fleeing into the forest. My person, the one I've searched for my entire life, is dead too. Long dead. No matter what happened after they left the forest, the nature of their human lifespan means that they lived lifetimes ago, generations ago. As I run farther and farther away, one thought echoes above the others. At this time, all these years, all these decades, they've been for nothing. I dig my claws into earth with every step, tearing at the roots and leaves. I do know the name for the feeling pulling and tugging at me, the one that had taken over Juliet as we stood there. Ones I've heard of but never felt until now. Grief. Every lie, every theft, every struggle and hardship, everything. For nothing. That word swirls in my head, a dying leaf drifting towards the ground, falling and powerless to stop itself. Finally, I come to a stop, not even knowing where I am or for how long I ran. I just stop when I lose the will to run anymore, transforming onto my knees. Every decision I've ever made, every place I've ever gone had all been in service of one dream. Over time, I grew to rely on it. I didn't ever have to think or make a difficult decision for myself. Instead, it was like I had a path to follow, however long. But that path wasn't actually leading anywhere. All it did was take me far away and leave me on my own. Rising to my feet, I look around the area. Although the trees and slopes remind me of Mount Victoria, I don't recognize it at all. Juliet's nowhere to be seen. The sprawling sunlight means she couldn't join me here even if she wanted to. Even if she found me, I wonder if she's looking. Juliet, who always seemed so calm and put together, behind that mask, she was hiding all these feelings. What else don't I know about her? What else has she been keeping to herself? Is it just more pain? An ice-cold chill runs down my spine, making me shudder as I realize something else. She must have known, too, that my person was dead. She must have figured it out right away, yet she never told me. Aspen, too. Suddenly, every pained look or topic change whenever I brought up Jungin makes sense. They both knew, and were hiding it from me all along. This whole time letting me go on and get my hopes up, without ever stopping me or telling the truth. It was so simple too, so obvious. If I'd just thought about it for a bit myself, I'd have realized that humans live and die much faster than my kind do. Sighing, I sit down on the grass, wrapping my arms around my knees. I mash one palm into my eyes to wipe away the tears that are there. Oh fuck.
Stop crying, Miho.
With a few deep breaths, I managed to fight away the stinging pressure and keep myself from breaking down even more. I sigh again once I'm certain it won't turn into a sob. Now that the initial shock has worn off, the pain in my heart has gone from a sharp stab to a dull throb. Aside from pure survival instinct, death has always been distant and faceless to me, but now I have to look it in the eye. My time with Jungin was short, thousands of times shorter than the time I've spent looking for them since then. Still, it was all I had. Where do I even go from here? The sun is getting higher, so Juliet must have made her way home by now. She might even be waiting for me to come back. We both know I have to at some point. It's getting hotter for me too. Shakily, I rise to my feet and look around again. Actually trying to get my bearings. If I have to, I can just go back in the direction I came from until I find somewhere similar, or somewhere familiar. I start walking back towards the library since it's the only place I have to go. I may think of it as a home for now, but I can't help but picture Juliet's sobbing face. Immortal or not, there has to come a time someday where we don't see each other, and that will be the end of our memories together. Or at least her memories of me. The same goes for Aspen, as mortal as Cosette. Aren't I just resigning myself to feeling this pain again someday, potentially even stronger? Maybe she was right. The other Gumiho. Maybe I don't belong anywhere. Oh, Miho. By the time I get back to the library, I'm exhausted from the walk and sun. I throw open the library door and go inside, walking past my empty seat at the front desk. Juliet's nowhere to be seen, only patrons. They've always managed just fine without me, though. Plodding up to my room, I grab my blanket from my bed and wrap it around myself before I lower myself to the floor. That's when the tears hit me again, and this time I can't hold them back. Slouching onto my side, I don't even try. There's no point. As I expected, in less than a minute, there's a sound at my door. 3 knocks. Always 3.
Miho? Is that you? Are you alright?
I don't respond. I don't even know if I want to see Juliet right now. She's part of this too, after all. She pauses outside for a moment, but a few seconds later, Juliet opens the door anyway.
Oh, Miho.
The pity in her voice tells me everything I need to know. I can only imagine what I must look like. Covered in blankets and lying on the floor, I must look pathetic, childish. It must be how I always look to her.
Miho, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
Ooh, Juliet trails off still just inside the door. I can see her legs and cane, but not her face. I can picture the concern on it though.
Didn't mean to what?
The words come out as a growl, surprising even myself. But I can't pretend, not now. She let herself in here, she can deal with it. Her cane sways from side to side as she wrings her hands, almost knocking into the wall more than once.
Mean for you to put things together this way. Such a painful way. I wanted to...
So you did know.
I cut her off without thinking as she confirms my suspicions. With one arm, I push myself up, letting the blankets fall away from my face as I glare daggers at Juliet.
Pardon?
You knew.
Slowly, I rise to my feet. My head is pounding, and I can hear my blood pumping as anger rises through me, bubbling out like liquid magma.
All this time they've been dead, and you knew, didn't you? You probably knew from the first time I told you about them, right?
She stiffens and then Juliet sighs deeply. It's all anyone ever seems to do around here.
I did. Yes.
Why? Why didn't you tell me?
Although tears are beginning to choke my voice again, I manage to shout out my question, my accusation.
I've been looking like such an idiot. I'm already an idiot compared to you and to Aspen. Every day I'm reminded of that. But this really takes the cake, doesn't it? I've been wasting my whole entire life over something everyone else can figure out right away.
Miho, it isn't like that.
Then why? Tell me why you didn't tell me sooner. Or Aspen. She knows too, right?
Juliet nods meekly. My eyes burn and my nose is running. My face hurts in every way possible.
We didn't know how.
No how? What do you mean, no how?
I can't keep myself from shouting. I feel so stupid, so angry, and so sad.
Please, Miho, try to understand. We were still just getting to know you. You barely trusted Aspen or me. If we just told you that the person you were looking for was deceased, we didn't know how you'd take it. You might not even believe us, for one thing. Or perhaps it would give you cause to run away again. As the weeks went on, we wanted to, but it never seemed to be the right time. Neither of us wanted to be the one to, out of nowhere, bring your whole world crashing down.
Yeah, because they don't want to be the one to cause the harm.
Not when you were trying so hard. You seemed so happy. It felt more cruel to ruin that in a way.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Miho. I truly am. It was wrong of me to let it go this long without saying anything, but believe me, I only hesitated out of love. Aspen and I both. We simply couldn't bring ourselves to break your heart that way.
Fat lot of good that did. Juliet sniffles and I have to look away. I don't want to see her cry again. Not while I'm already like this. Stooping down to the floor, I pick my blanket back up and wrap it around myself again. Even as I do, I can't help but think of how it's not really my blanket. It's Juliet's. She just lets me use it, like everything else.
Go away.
To my relief, she doesn't try to argue. Doesn't even say anything else. She just nods and silently leaves the room. The second the door shuts behind her, I collapse into my bed, put my pillow over my face, and succumb to my grief.